Be careful with it, would you? And, pie.
Thanks for saving me from the Chuck Norris marathon with the snack run, Karlee.
No problem.
Don't get me wrong. Sharing a motel room with him after a hunt is an awesome way to celebrate. But the man's choice in movies is iffy, even on a good day.
What about mine? Digging into the law was not my idea of downtime after we cleaned out that nest. I'm coming back with nothing even remotely close to natural in it. Besides, you know I'm itching to take the wheel without your Mr. Backseat Driver and his comments. What?
Someone's by the car.
Of course. The one time he parks a mile away from the rooms. Really, Sandra? That's what you're going with for weapons?
Well, Dean never uses them.
Because throwing stars are as good of an idea as those films he makes you sit through.
Oh, put the demon blade away. It's our old partner in crime. Hey, I guess you're wanting to tag along again?
Well, come on in before Sam turns on the puppy dog eyes and makes me cave and bring him a salad, which I'm not going to do. I'm not a kale delivery system.
All right. Well, you know Dean's house rules in Baby. Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cakehole, and the ones in the back enjoy the ride, idling in the Impala.
Hope you like meatloaf.
For a snack?
Music, Sandra. Music.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. I'm Sandra.
I'm Karlee. This week's episode is a little bit different. We're bringing you some of our outtakes and ramblings from previous recording sessions. We thought you'd enjoy listening to some of our mayhem and madness.
Well, Karlee, it's really just you ranting about stuff.
I mean, it kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, never be sorry for your ranting. So sit back and enjoy.
Yeah. I think about what I'm going to say. Probably write something down. I'm usually pretty good at going off the cuff, but not if I have to record it in like a this is how it's going to be kind of way.
Well, it's okay. I mean, like I said, we can, if we need to do it a couple times, it's fine. But, you know, as long as we have it sort of in an order, it'll just help me later.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, we're going to introduce ourselves. Why am I so nervous? This is absurd. This sits already on the internet.
This is like, come on, Karlee. We're like, we should just be experts at this by now. It's easy.
It's because all the other ones we haven't introduced, they've just like gone into pre-discussions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. High school drama. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, the cat's looking at herself in the mirror and it's fucking hilarious. Whiskey, what are you doing, baby? Oh no, I scared her. Now she has to leave. Okay. Right. Okay. So, yeah. We're out of the cars now. That pause was for you. So you know where we're starting.
Okay.
Yeah, that pause was for you because then the audio will go flat. Okay.
Can I tell you what I bought? And don't laugh, but I heard about this. So let me say if you can figure it out. Do you know what that is?
Do it again. Oh, is it a clapperboard?
It's a dog clicker. So it's like a clicker. So I got one and it's like, because they said like if you want to like make notes or like tags parts, like just, click and you'll like know where you need to go back and stuff. So yeah, dog clicker. So I thought that was neat.
That's great. That's great. I thought it was like a little mini clapperboard, from like where they go, and action. Not the action, the bit before that, where they're like, like season 5, episode 13.
It follows that line of thinking, but no, I don't have any clever word. If we were doing this for video, that would be awesome. I could get that at some point later on.
We could definitely nick a behind the scenes clip of one of the boys doing a clapperboard and just take the audio out.
Yes, we could do that. We could do that. Yeah. There we go.
We're not venturing into video anytime soon.
No.
I don't want that.
It's just so much easier this way. It's just easier this way. I like it this way. Let's keep it this way.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to say, comment-wise, the Sam hair, that season 1 picture is not reflective of everything throughout season 1.
No.
This is what I'm talking about.
No. But
they picked like the best like that they could like for season 1, because honestly, he's doing like his bangs don't do that.
No, I think
the other episodes.
I think that's Priest Sam.
That's Priest
actually.
Sam. Yes.
Yeah. See, I think for season 5 as well, you could have gone with when he's Lucifer. I think you probably would have got a better hair out of that. But now I'm in it for like just season 8. It's like a shining beacon because it's got like a light background as well. I think whoever made this was like season 8 best season.
Yeah, it's just like halos and like, you know, just yes, beautiful lights shining from outward, and just everybody else is like, meh.
Yeah, I don't even like. I just be like season 8, and all the other seasons can fuck off. To be honest,
yours will be really short.
I just feel like season 8, followed by season 9, followed by season 6. Oh no, I think I'd write season. No, stop it. Hair next episode. Hair next episode.
Yes,
stop it.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay.
I like that one. The one I don't, and I think we may have talked about this a little bit, but the alpha, beta, omega stories. Am I correct? Am I thinking that was something that kind of started with Supernatural, or like kind of like? Okay.
We invented that one. I mean, not we personally, but our fandom invented that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of hit or miss for me. Sometimes there's some good stuff in it. Not particularly. I mean, I don't mind it. Some of it, I've read a couple that I like, but it almost seems it's like packy, like it's almost like a werewolf. I always get that sense of like werewolf packs and like, you know, that kind of, even though that's not what it is, but it kind of just gives me that vibe. So I don't know. I'm not too keen.
There are a lot of works out there that lean really heavily into because it's like a lot of the physiology is based around like canine breeding things and like I can't think of the word. Yeah. alterations to human genitals to make them more canine.
Yeah.
So you do get a lot of fics that really lean into that, and like there's quite a lot of like shapeshifter things out there, or like pack-based things out there. But then you do have some that come back to the other side, and it's just like, you know, like it's just like a quirk of biology and in the human world, and you know, it's just dicks look a little bit different. You know.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Or like, they usually see that focused a lot around like male fics. So you'll have like alphas with different dicks and omegas that self-lubricate and things like that. I don't mind it. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't mind if it's there or if it's not. You know, I take it or leave it. I'm the same with Daddy Kink. I'm just like, I can have a look at like it's not my thing, but if it's there, I'm not going to reject a fic out of hand just because it has that tag. I'll be like, all right, well,
it's not my immediate go-to, but like I said, I've read a few, but and I think it depends on the author too. Like if an author does a lot of other stuff, then and I like their writing, and then I see that I'll usually give that one a try. I feel like I'd read like a romance novel years ago, and looking back at it now, was a shapeshifter, like a werewolf pack thing. And thinking back on it now, I honestly think that maybe the author was channeling Sam and Dean, but just didn't use their like, you know, but it had that, thinking about it now, had that vibe to it. And I'm wondering if that was kind of like an offshoot of like, maybe like, was it ABO? Is that how they kind of like abbreviate it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just while brief detour while we're on the subject of this, because it ties into shit you didn't expect to have to ask questions about. It ties into fucking Becky. Consent is key, people. Consent is key. I don't care how many fucking redemption arcs you try and give that girl. No. Literally, she got poofed out of existence at the end of season 15. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. Poor Becky. I'm sure she had a lovely life. Because I still don't forget Mrs. No when he went, could you stop touching me? No, but fuck off. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell, if there's any AO3 listeners, any AO3 writers out here, I'm going to tell y'all something now. I'm going to fucking tell you. If you write fics where this seems to happen more in J2 pairings than it does in actual supernatural pairings, if you write anybody fucking dogs, get off the internet. I'm going to tell you all now, it's fucking disgusting. Okay? I'm pointing at my computer screen. It's fucking gross. I was through AO3 the other day and I screenshotted this and I had to
you
share
sent
it in our group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Things I should not have to exclude in my tags. Jared and Jensen and original male dog characters. Stop making people fuck dogs, right? Just go, like, I'm sure there's nichey little parts of the internet where you can all be fucking gross and disgusting. Take your gross and disgusting people, selves, and fuck off over there, right?
Yeah.
Consent is key. You know who can't give consent? Fucking animals.
Yep.
Right? So I'll tell y'all, fucking stop that.
Yes. Agree. Oh, man.
I feel better now. Yeah, well, consent is key, but also, like, you know what, like, because that came up, I was just going through, and I was like, I'm fucking sorry, what? Oh, and just for reference, if any of you are wanting to know what tags to exclude, you will have to exclude original male dog, and you will also have to exclude Harley the dog, as in, y'all remember Jared's actual real life fucking dog. I think Harley and Sadie have both passed away now. But, like, you from the before times, like way, way, way before times, and he actually had the fucking dog. Yeah, you got to exclude that one as well.
No.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. And you know when they show up as well, Sandra? If you sort by hits, they're popular as fuck. It's gross. And you know us on this podcast, we are 100% all for writers. We don't kink shame in any capacity. That's not kink shaming. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Just
no, consent
is key. 100%. Don't be fucking kids. Don't be fucking animals. And consent. Okay? I mean, like, I'll dabble. Like, I personally don't. But if it's like a rape non-con thing, like, that can be a legitimate kink. And I think as long as it's, like, consensual non-consent is a thing, you know? So I'm like, it's not my thing, but, like,
but you've got adults involved in it, right? Like, that's the whole point of it. There's adults with, brains and choices, and up to a certain point, like, when you're getting into full out, like, gangbang rape, like, that's a totally different thing. And I've like read a few of those. I'm like, no, this is not what I was thinking, this was going to be. And was not happy about those things at all. But
yeah, so I mean, honestly, I only brought this up because I was just like, just going to double check we don't need content on this, because I was like,
no, there's nothing
blood in mine.
There's nothing where he's doing anything with the car.
Okay, good.
I would not have, like, I would.
I'll be honest, like, I didn't think that, because then I was like, well, it could have been something really, like, innocuous, like, I don't know, like, maybe he's washing her and he gets turned on, and, like, there's no man car interaction, but then there's, like, man thinking about car, and then you could have just, like, gone, oh, that's gross, and carried on.
No, as far as I can remember, there's none of that where he gets like, oh, I'm washing her, and, like, that's not a thing, because the way it starts, she's already, like, switched, she's already turned, and that's how it starts.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then that's,
she's a sexy car. Like, I'm, like, obviously not personally attracted to cars, but you look at her and you're like, damn.
And honestly, like, the portrayal, the characterization, like, the description, she sounds super hot. Like, she sounds like she's everything, and it's cute. I think she's got like a tattoo or something. Like, there's little bits of, like, the things that we connect, baby, and, like, there's things in it that just makes it just sweet. And then, but yeah, so again, like, it's this, like, connection. And again, like it's immediate connection. It's not just like, oh, he sees this girl and this woman and he's immediately in love and smitten. There's a connection there. There's that. And then he's trying to sort it out himself. But give it a go. If you don't like it after a couple chapters, say, Sandra, I don't know what you're thinking. Not my thing. Don't invest too much time.
I think if anybody out here goes and clicks on this, reads that prologue, and then goes, "Nah, it's not for me," I'm gonna have to question if you possess eyeballs. Really? Like, did you read something different? Did you think you were reading this, and then it was actually something different? Because that prologue is fucking top notch, guys. Yeah, and I only read about 5 paragraphs.
It's really beautiful. It's just one of those pieces where, like, if that's all they'd written, it would have been a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So it definitely hooks you, I think. But yeah, so that's. And again, like it just ties into family. Like when I was like, oh, I might as well. This seems like this, this is family for Dean, and then she becomes family on another level,
That's so nice.
Yeah.
You brought to the therapy episode a really nice family fic. That's cute as fuck. I brought to the family episode fucking awfulness. Like, hello, here is a glimpse into the deviant's mind. Good Lord. That's so nice, though. Oh, I love that.
Oh, my gosh.
Sandra, bringing the wholesome back into
bringing it back around after we talk about. But now I'm seriously curious about, like, Dean Winchester and the Impala. Like, I may just have to, like, look to see, like, what else is there. Like, if I click on that, just to see, like, how weird it could get.
Good luck, my friend. Good luck. You're gonna fucking need it. I swear to God. I genuinely I genuinely wish I'd have found that tag when we were doing the tags episode, because we would have got a whole episode worth of ranting about that.
Yeah. It's good to return to what we give our stamp of approval on, and what we're like, nope, definitely not. Like, we are all for expression, and that's why I'm all like, if you want a kudos, I feel like the kudos comments should be positive, and it should be for stuff you really like and really enjoy. If you don't like something, just pass it by. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, there should be something in place that at least makes it harder to find. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, because I know we have to click like, this is adult content. Well, what about like this is beyond, like, what we would consider like the usual adult content. Like, this goes beyond kink. This goes into another whole like territory.
Yeah, I mean, when I brought it to the group chat, that was one of those occasions. Listeners, we call it talking into the void, because in our group chat we're all on different time zones. So there's like a time in the morning and a time. It's sort of afternoon for me, like early afternoon for me, very late at night for Dee, and like a reasonable morning time for Sandra, and that we can all be online at the same time. And then it goes the other way, where it's like morning time for Dee, it's very late at night for me, and it's sort of like later evening for Sandra. And those are the times it lines up and we can all talk at once. But any other time, we're just talking into the void, and someone will come back to you, but at that moment nobody's online.
Yeah.
I do remember posting it, and then like I went away, like I sent the screenshot and I was like, this is fucking disgusting, and then I left, and then I came back 10 minutes later to carry on ranting about it, because I was like, I'm not done. Right? No, fucking gross. I think it was because I'd found that fucking original dog tag, and I sent you guys the screenshot of it, like, do not include additional tags to exclude. And then I found the Harley one, and I was like, fucking what? And came back in the group chat and ranted. And I was like, this needs to be off the fucking site. There should be a report button on AO if it's and I like proper sounded off. And then like Dee came back to me a few hours later, and she's like, yeah, but it's like a censorship thing. If we start putting limits on what you can put on AO3, then it becomes like a whole censorship thing, and then it's a thing. And I was like, all right, well, that makes sense. But it should be
harder to find. I just think there should be.
You should be able to block shit.
Yeah.
There should be an option. Developers of AO3, guys, if you're listening, we know you are, obviously.
Yeah, because if you can set
button.
preferences, I would think a way to set preferences at the start, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff I'm interested in. This is the kind of stuff I'm not interested in. Please block anything that contains,
and you should just
these terms, so that then you don't have to be hit with it when you're doing your regular searches. Again, I know it's pie in the sky thinking in something, but I think they're working on stuff. Like, they're definitely always seem to be working on something new that they're kind of, bringing in based off of suggestions. So maybe that's something too, like, I'll have to put in like a suggestion for that. Maybe if more people do that too, it becomes a thing that people will think about. But it's also hard, like you said, if it's getting all those hits.
God, the hits.
And again, is it a hit where it's an initial? A hit doesn't mean a read, and I think that's the thing that people need to understand too. Like, you can click into it, but then there can be an immediate. But that hit still counts. It's not like you can retract that hit. So once you get into something, it's there. So it's like, that's not necessarily a representation of how many people enjoyed it. What are the kudos like?
That was it. It wasn't so much the hits. It was the hits to kudos.
The ratio was really good.
Really high. Yeah. It was really good. And I was like, oh, that's disgusting. Because, like, yeah, all right. If you're just skimming through, like, I know Dia said she never reads the tags. She's like, she reads the summary and that's it. And I'm like, that seems like a dangerous way to play this game. But okay. So I can understand, like, if you were just skimming through and you didn't see the fucking dog tag, whatever, and you just like click and then you went, oh, fuck, nope. Just note right out. It still registers a hit. Yeah. But, like, to kudos something, you gotta click on it. You gotta scroll all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you got to hit kudos. Like, it's an
intentional act. Yeah, it's an intentional act. Yeah.
Kudos something.
Wow.
Like, fucking gross. And I mean, at that point, with nice little stop doing that, my crush on Donna and Brianna is just legendary. So
I had found out that she'd gotten cut out of a Repo, the genetic opera. I don't know if you've ever watched that. My husband
love it.
That, and like has
she was meant to be in that.
She was going to be in that. She got cut, and so when I heard her sing, I was like, oh, that's why she was going to be in that. Because again, she's another person. You don't realize how good of a singer, like how good of a singer she is. And she was. I think when I watched one of the concerts, she was like doing Uninvited by Alanis Morissette, and she was so good. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, she
has an album
in that. Yeah.
You know who she was supposed to play?
I don't. I just know that when you go in IMDb, you see a credit, but she's actually not in it. So they just took her out. Whatever it was, it probably wasn't a big part, and I probably, like, for timing or whatever, they took it out. But she has a funny little story too about how, like, she went to the premiere even though she knew she wasn't going to be in it, and like halfway through she tells her husband or her boyfriend at the time, come on, let's just get out of here and go get something to eat. But yeah, and
I love her so much. Yeah. I'm literally on IMDb now, finding out who she was, because I love that movie.
My husband used to listen to that work because he works in a warehouse, and he said he used to listen to that soundtrack like on repeat, like just to like have something to do. And yeah, that's one of the things every once in a while he's like, can we watch Repo? I'm like, okay.
My husband hates it. I hates it. I made him watch it, and he was like, that was garbage. And I'm like, you have no taste.
I will say I've watched it a few times with him, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it again. And then because I don't know. I appreciate the actors and the singing, I think. And I really like Paul Sorvino just in general. So I liked him in that. And I guess the Buffy dude, I think. I didn't realize he could sing either. So I was like, oh yeah, people can sing. So yeah,
I was actually really surprised. Paris Hilton doesn't do a bad job in that movie.
She doesn't. She doesn't have a lot to do. So
one of the best songs. One of the best songs is one that's actually cut from that movie, but you can find it on YouTube. Pretty sure it's called "Can't Get It Up If the Girl's Breathing."
I'll have to ask Ted if that's on the soundtrack.
It's not. You gotta YouTube it.
Okay.
And it's Paris Hilton and the guy who plays Grave Robber.
Okay.
And it's just so good.
Oh, goodness.
It's just so good. I'll send you a link. It's amazing. I did not know she was meant to be in that. I looked it up. I don't recognize the name.
Yeah, because I think they just like they were able to probably cut out the character entirely. So there's like not even like a reference, I think, for it.
Yeah.
But it's just like overall the well, I don't know, the bugs. Yeah, even the bugs I'm trying to figure, because I don't like bugs. So that was another one where I just was not watching a majority of it.
I will tell you what the only redeeming feature of Bugs is. The only redeeming feature. The actor who played the kid in Bugs, he comes back as Samandriel later on.
Yep.
That's the only redeeming feature of Bugs. All of the other 19, no, it's less than 19 because we had some overlap, but all of the other episodes, we can say, it's fine, it's this particular thing I didn't like, but we're like, Bugs sucked. Like, I was just can we consider it a redeeming feature if we have the Dean shower bit? Is that a redeeming feature of Bugs?
Maybe. Again, yeah, but there's not enough of it.
Yeah, no, and he has a towel on his hair, and it's a bit. Yeah, no, we're discounting the shower scene. Bugs fucking sucks. Yeah.
Interesting thing about that one was that the parents show up in the season 15 Atomic Monsters, the episode that Jensen directed. With one of your favorites, Becky, when she comes back in that episode, they played parents of the kid that turned into a vampire. So they actually brought that exact same couple back to play couples like 15 years later, which I thought was interesting. I just thought that was like a little bit of trivia that I thought was neat. So I like how Supernatural recycles a lot of their actors, and like they've been on so long that it could be like 15 years later and they bring somebody back and it's just like, oh wow, okay, you did that. So
let's decompress. Let's invent flaws for J2 and just be like, oh, I wonder if they do this.
Well, I almost wonder too, like how good are they with keeping in touch with their significant others? Like, they say, oh, I do calls and stuff like that, but like, and I mean, I don't know, like, I know I've seen like, where supposedly Daniil calls, like, when Jensen's on stage or whatever, but it's like, does he do that all the time? Will he always pick up no matter what? Or will he just let it go? And then like, just gotta like text and kind of like, do multiple to like get him, to actually like respond. So that's a thing. So I have a feeling like, that might be a thing. I don't know if that'd be a thing for Jared. Jared seems to.
I feel like Jared might be more in touch because Jensen's kind of forget about it with his phone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not great with the tech anyway. So he probably just like, just use it for like calls and texts and, just important stuff. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's why he tweets and he trends again. And I'm like, if you tweeted more often, this would stop happening, my dude. Whereas Jared goes on. I'm now making it my mission to get him to notice one of my tweets. That's what I'm in for.
Okay.
I'm starting to tag him in tweets because I know that he comes on and he looks through all his mentions and stuff every few days. And I'm like, I'll get there. I'll get him to like or reply to something, and then I'll die a happy mortal. Now,
because I don't know how this stuff works, can you get notifications like when it's like, would he be trending because he's on and mentioning, or like would you have to like search for like a particular? See, I'm so bad with this stuff. I don't get it.
I don't.
Because somebody's like, oh, Jared's on. And I see that like happened like 8 hours ago. And I'm like, well, how would you know unless you were constantly like, could you get a notification that like, somebody's mentioned these specific phrases and it like pops up?
I think you can get notified when people reply to tweets and stuff.
Okay.
On the profile. I wouldn't waste your time doing it with Jensen. That's never going to fucking happen.
Oh no, I'm not worried about that. I was just saying for the whole Jared thing for you. I was looking out for you, Karlee. Like, how can we do that so that you can actually know when he's on?
I'll just keep tagging him and stuff, and like eventually, just my notification will be the one he picks on to reply, and I'll just be happy then. And it'll be fine. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool. I think I'd have like some kind of anxiety attack if it was happening live. I'd be like, holy shit. I got a like from Osric when I tweeted him about coming to the lefty liberal side. We have cookies and stuff, and I got a like, and I was like, oh my God.
That's so great. That's great.
I was so hyped about that. I've replied to Ruth a couple of times as well. I haven't got anything back from her.
Oh,
these are busy people.
Yeah.
It'll get there. It'll get there in the end.
I think that's great, though. So neat. I gotta tell Ted that because he loves Kevin. To say, Karlee got a like from Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. You should tell him.
And I run with it.
Yeah, that's
we do it that way.
I know you've just got a notification to say you shared Dean hair. With me
because I didn't know if you wanted to look at it yet or just wait. You might just want to wait until we talk about it. So.
No, I'm still gonna look. I'm still gonna look. Shared with me. Oh, was it Dean's? Oh, look! My God!
You
have a table and everything. Oh my God, that's fabulous. So where least to most favorite? Oh, season 10, Demon Dean. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
This will not be an argument. This will not be an argument. Man, I was just going to pull up a Google image of Sam's hair and just go from that. Oh, you put me to shame with your planning. Sam hair.
Oh, gosh.
Seasons. Oh, man. Honestly, you put me to shame. You're so fucking organised. I'm so impressed. So, yeah, let me just... Yeah, that looks about right. This is how I operate. I'm like, yeah, no, that looks fine. 15 pictures in it. That's probably all right. Yeah.
I'm glad you could do pictures. I was like, I can't Google like season Deans and like then try to do. I said that's just going to be too much. So I just kind of like went through the. I just went through
no
in person. It was overwhelming me.
I don't have pictures. They just exist on the internet.
Oh, okay.
They just exist. They just exist. Here, I'll link you to some.
See, I would find them and then I would.
See, look, I'm just going to oh, no, that's tiny. No. Let's find it. You see, the problem with Dean is that you find so much more Jensen pictures.
Yeah.
Because he's had a lot more different hair than Dean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it becomes like a little bit of a digging thing that I was like,
oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to bob this in the chat, which exists. There we go. There you go. Like, I know you've got a chat and everything, but babes, it's online. You know, honey, it's all there. It's all there.
You've sent me this one before. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But still, it was like, I still needed to see, like, I needed to see him with it because, like, some of these don't necessarily represent everything. Like, it does change a little bit in each season. Like, it does. Like, not a ton. But yeah, I'm still saying season 3. Not my favorite, just not my favorite. Season 3 and then season 2. I don't know. They just feel even again like season 2. Okay, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna have this open. We'll go back to this later. But yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm looking at the Sam one now. And of course, season 8 comes right in the middle. So it's just like yours, 3 rows. Season 8's bang smack in the middle. And it's just such a perfect fucking picture. And he's got his serious broody face on. It's just great. I'll share that as well, so we can be looking at each other's rankings while we're going. Answer. Like another huge question. Why did Bobby tell Dean where John and Mary were? You're telling me John Winchester made it into heaven? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe his mum, because she took a leave of absence, but she seemed like a good dude. You know, she seemed like, even when she came back, I know that we all are like, oh, that was a bad choice. But even when she came back, she seemed to, like, she wasn't a bad person, was she?
She was wrestling with, I mean, that's a lot to take in. But, you know, like, it's like she did a lot of, I think, Dean things. Like, I think that Dean's personality follows a lot of Mary. And even though he didn't have that growing up with her, I think, just, I don't know, genetically, like nature, I don't know. It's like they kind of felt that things were happening a certain way and this is how they had to react. And it was very quick and just go by feeling and not necessarily by like, what's going to be the implication of what I'm going to do like right after. But yeah, I mean, totally. She would have been, I mean, she was already up there once before. So, I think she would have been able to get up there again. But yeah, John Winchester, I was just like, that's just like, that's not, I don't think that's what Dean would, again, my perception. I don't think he's necessarily all that great about like, having to see his dad every day. I mean, he had to deal with his dad in a way that Sam didn't in his like, soldier routine. And there's a lot more going on there that I don't think would have been helpful for him.
Agree. And I remember thinking a similar thing. I believe it was still in 50. So it was the 300th episode where Jeffrey came back, and they had that pearl and they were going to wish away whatever it was. And then accidentally, whoops, Dean summoned mum and dad. I've been dreaming about this since I was 4. Okay, let me tell you again. I'm still on my mum box, okay? Slightly personal. But Jay, my oldest, was 2 when his grandma passed away. Okay? So yeah, that you do a lot of growing between 2 and 4, right? You do. But the way they tried to portray that Dean had been longing for this family unit that he had lost when he was 4 rang false to me. Because, like I said, yeah, they do a heck of a lot of growing between 2 and 4. But my eldest boy, if you showed him a picture that he'd already seen of his grandma, he can tell you, like, she's on our walls, and he can tell you, that's Nanny. Like, that's Nanny and Mummy. But if I showed him a picture of her that he'd never seen before, he wouldn't know from Adam. No memory of her whatsoever. And she was everything you want a grandma to be to him. She adored him. But he has no memory of her. So to try and push that, Dean's been longing for this family unit since he was 4. You know what 4-year-olds care about? Custard and cartoons. I promise you there's not a 4-year-old on this planet that's going, oh my God, I really want mum and dad around the dinner table again. They don't care. 4-year-olds don't even want to entertain the concept of dinner tables. They're not bothered.
Yeah.
So, and I do think you maybe could have made a point at the start of the show that Dean, like, in the absence of Sam, was really missing that family connection, which, came through with the huge focus on finding John and finding the demon and things like that. But then they resolved it. They killed the demon. John went to heaven. Debatable, but fine. And then it just, I don't know. It was just such a weird thing.
Yeah. For
Dean to still be hanging on to this. But with season 15, he's 40. Or he's been dreaming of a family dinner for 36 years. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't. And then to get to heaven and, both of the boys could do with therapy forever.
Yeah.
Neither of them are particularly well-adjusted people. No, so I don't.
It would be nice to have that as an option for them. You would kind of hope that there'd be some therapy going on there to make them.
If I'm gonna have one wish for the episode that we don't talk about, it would be that afterwards Sam put his ass in inpatient care and dealt with some stuff.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just dealt with some stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and they just made their way through life dealing with the stuff that happened to them. So I don't know necessarily that either of them would have classified John as abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the mentalities that they were working with, the way that they were raised, that dad was doing his best, whatever. But to the watcher, I want to say reader, but that's not right. But to the watcher, we all know. So that feels like kind of like a big F you.
Yeah.
To us to be like, like we're all good. Because if it was such a throwaway comment, if they'd have shown, Jeff and Sam in the episode, if they'd have been there, they're like, oh, Dean, welcome home. Let's have that family dinner you've been dreaming about for 36 fucking years. Then it would have made sense. But it didn't. Bobby was just like, hey, your mum and dad are over there. Anyway, there's the car. It was, the whole thing was just
Poor Jim Beaver. Bad. I mean, he really had to be like that. Like, here, I'm going to just like give you all of the exposition just to like let you know what's happening, since, we're going to say COVID is a reason why we can't bring people in for like this big deal, the way they were supposed to have everything happen at the Roadhouse, apparently having everybody come back, making him like do all of those, and then, I was not a fan. But you talking about John, and like, I was thinking about this last night. Again, I spend way too much time thinking about Supernatural, but it's just one of those things where I was really thinking about Sam and Dean growing up, and how Dean in particular, the isolation that you realize, I think not until season 2, or really get more of an idea of it later on in season 1, like how John really kept the whole Hunter circle and network away from them, and just kept them very isolated in this safe place that John felt was necessary. And then they get a chance to, once he dies, I think they get a chance to really build out their family, their family that they want, with like Ellen and Joe and Ash, who was a great character. I wish they hadn't gotten rid of him so quickly. He would have been such a great little comic relief character every so often. But like even that one episode, What Is and What Shall Never Be, with the Djinn, where there's no John Winchester in that, for Dean. And I know he racks himself and gets himself all up in a tizzy and goes to visit his grave and does this whole spiel. But like his idea of what was going to happen, or his dream then, didn't necessarily have John inserted into the daily, for him, even though he gave himself a hard time and didn't have a good relationship with Sam in that. There was no John front and center to, tell him what to do, tell him how to act, tell him this is how it has to be. And, but then you're going to have him in heaven, just whenever. The only way I can rationalize it is that, maybe Dean just gets then to pick and choose whenever he wants to go and visit with John. And maybe he takes the time to go to therapy, and at some point sits him down with the beer and is like, I just need to talk to you about some things, like just some stuff, just so you're aware, of what I went through, and how it changed and affected me, in my life. Doing that maybe is like a cleansing thing. So that's the only thing I could think of, is maybe he just gets to pick and choose, like just how like it's actually their shared heaven, but it doesn't mean he has to be. He can have that agency, I guess. He can be like, no, I'll check in with you maybe on Sundays. Maybe we have like that family dinner that, I'm looking forward to, and until we start to argue, and then, I'll see myself.
Then I'm going to leave.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad take on that. That kind of, if they'd, maybe if they'd have left John, that would have closed that door for Dean. He would never have been able to get any kind of resolution, whether he wanted it or not. Maybe Dean just knows where John and Mary live, and he's just never going to go there. Yeah, he's going to drive around with his brother forevermore. But I think if they'd have closed that door and been like, "There's no John in heaven," probably would have been to the detriment, because I think, although that episode focuses on Dean waiting for Sam, I think beyond that, Sam probably would have had some questions.
Yeah.
He maybe would have been able to connect with his mom in a way that they never could on Earth. And obviously it's supposed to be heaven, maybe. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of worried though, because if that's if that's how it is, if everybody you've ever known is going to be there, just in case, I'm gonna have to deal with some people that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, I don't.
After my time,
really like that idea either. I don't. I like, and not that it, it was just like built of like your own mindset. I think back in season 5 when like they had their own little pockets of heaven, but I mean I don't want to see.
Yeah, there are people that I don't want to deal with. Maybe it goes on who you are as a person. There are people in my life that I never want to clap eyes on again. Yeah. And maybe when we get wherever we're going afterwards, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of like brain scanner and they're like, okay, no, they definitely don't want this person in there. That'll be all right.
They have a little wristband. They can't get in.
Yeah. I was like the idea of it being like a big joint, like just a big everybody there. Mm-hmm. And like, maybe you've got like your little backyard, for lack of a better word. Mm-hmm. And there's like the people that you care about and the people you're closest to, and they're all in one space, so you can go and have a chat. But then maybe I'm gonna walk down the road a little while and there's gonna be like, I don't know, Shakespeare or Genghis Khan or whoever, somebody interesting or somebody not interesting, whatever. But I just like the idea that you can connect with these people afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't want to be closed off.
Yeah.
Because realistically, if that's how it is, then there's going to be a Jared and a Jensen there. And then
this is true.
We all know what we're going to be doing for the rest of eternity then, aren't we?
Poor guys.
Oh no, I just got myself into clones again because I was like, well, does everybody have to share one? Because I love Danielle, but I will fight her. And Jen doesn't have a chance because she's shorter than I am. Will fight you, woman. Gimme, you had him for the whole of your life.
I think there's got to be a clone situation. See, that's where I would be like, okay, if I get to make my own little like spot or like my own little, I don't know, room or section, like what's in my playroom kind of situation.
I absolutely do not want the sort of initial versions of heaven. You're reliving your greatest hits like Weekend at Bobby's. No, that's not the right one. No.
Oh,
not Weekend at Bobby's.
Death's Door. I think. Yeah, when he's season 7. Death's Door.
And he leads the riot in heaven. And he was like,
God.
Are you gonna open all the doors? Yeah. I don't want that. I don't want to just be sitting there like reliving my greatest moments of life.
No.
But I don't want to have to fight somebody. Because I will. Look, hey, you've seen Jen. She's like 5'4". Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got like a good 4 inches on her. Mm-hmm. I will destroy her. She's tiny as well. She's just like a tiny little waif of a woman, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, babes, but move. This is mine now. Just put him over my shoulder and just take him away. Excuse me, I need this. Yeah, no, they might have to. Maybe everybody, because it's the afterlife. It's like the multiverse, isn't it? Maybe everybody gets a heaven with everybody in it. Or maybe you can will people into existence when you get there. So I've got like my people that are around me. And then I can think, no, maybe it'd be nice to talk to Hitler for 5 minutes so I can punch him in the face. And it's just appears, And then when you're done with him, you can be like, no, I'm done with you now. Yeah, I'm going to go with that idea because I don't want to punch people out.
Yeah, because I can't imagine. My husband would be like, we need to talk.
Oh no, these are conversations that I've had with my husband where I'm like, I loved you for our entire time on earth and our vows said until death do us part. So have at it, friend. Everybody's there. I'll see you in 5 years. We'll reconnect. Well, I've talked about it. You got to have these conversations.
Yeah, I know. But that's probably something I need to talk to him about. Like we have to have that discussion just in case, so he's aware.
Yeah, you got to manage expectations, don't you? You can't get to afterlife, heaven, and if he passes before you can't get there, and he's like, Sandra, baby, I've waited for you so long, and you'd be like,
where's
wait there? I will be back, and then just leave. No, you have to talk these conversations out. I'll Yorkshire. Oh my God, I have to tell you, just while we're talking about Yorkshire, we got a notification from the kids' school today that was just like, here are the videos for the ways that we teach the children phonics. We appreciate that being from Yorkshire, these sounds might not come naturally to you, but this is the way we teach the kids, and we need you to work with us. And I was like, Jesus Christ. You're now saying that the children can't understand us, or we can't understand the children. Which is it? Holy Christ. We're too Yorkshire for the fucking school now. We're in Yorkshire, but we're too Yorkshire for the bloody school.
Oh my God.
Raf sent it to me and I fucking really laughed. And he put it on Facebook and I read it to my team and I was like, what is even happening right now?
I actually watched a video that I think talked about like different, like, the like Yorkshire in different places. And I think it was a professor and he was talking, I guess the proper formal, it's kind of like Italian, right? Like Italian has a very formal, like if you live in Rome, you speak what they call the real Italian. And then outside of Rome in all the different provinces and all of that, they all have this different dialect. And so like my mom who lives in or was born in Benevento, it's like southern central Italy, and it's in the Campania region, but you literally could like go 45 minutes on a train west to Naples and it sounds completely different and people don't understand each other. Like a Napolitan is not going to understand somebody from the mountains in Campania. It's like it just doesn't work. So it's the same thing here too, like in certain areas, like I was like, because I was trying to have somebody sound British, but I'm like, this is so not going to work. So I'm just going to like watch the video. And they had like captions at the bottom. And I was like, so I can understand you really well, Karlee. So I mean, I don't think I don't think it's that down deep. Like I think you've got a chance to understand your children.
Yeah, I'm coming from because I was born in Yorkshire, but my mum's side of the family comes from the East End of London.
Okay.
So they moved up to Yorkshire when my mum was like 9. Okay. So when she got around family, like her sister that still lived in London, like her accent would come out, but in day-to-day life, she's quite a neutral accent. So I grew up around those kind of neutral accents as opposed to like really thick Yorkshire accents. Even though I don't come from a part of Yorkshire where it's a really thick accent, but it is somewhat distinctive. But I think having those neutral accents around me and having the influence of like a different part of the country, sort of, I talk a bit more proper than a lot of people around here too. So it's very, very similar in the UK. You don't have to go very far before the slang starts changing and word meanings start changing. And it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Whenever we watch anything that's like BBC related, like Ted's like, can you just put the closed captioning on?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. My poor mom, like, forget it. She's like, are they speaking English? It's all right. Like, it's okay. She's like, I don't understand anything. I'm like, so she's going from Italian who's learned English, American English, and then trying to understand that.
Yeah.
And she's just gone. I could just see her eyes glaze over. And she's like, I stopped listening a while ago because I just don't understand. And I don't know if it's, what's one that we've been watching recently? Oh, Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais one. And
yeah.
There's, again, like, and I guess everybody's from a little bit of a different place because they all, like, the accents are a little different either way. But so Ted's like, yeah, can you just put closed captioning on? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put it. And usually I just do it now because I'm like, I'm just going to put it on because it's too much of a struggle. The whole, and then when they do the closed captioning, they'll they'll write it the way that they're saying it sometimes. So sometimes I don't think like the in it, like the in it, that's just basically isn't it, right? But it's like in it. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, and I don't even ask Ted. I'm like, he's even figured that out. But I think he has, but I was like, okay.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
so
we're
just all over.
We're not meant to be understood. We're just not meant to be understood as a concept. Do you know what is funny though? Over here, we're surrounded by American media all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching a British show with British people in it, like you don't even register it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're watching an American show, again, the accent doesn't, like, it's just a voice. It doesn't register to you as American.
Right.
If you're watching an American show with American actors and then a British actor comes in, it clangs so hard. And you're like, oh my God, is that what we sound like? What the hell? You just, that all you can hear then is, that all I can hear then is like the difference in accents. And I'm like, do we sound like that? I don't think we sound like that. That doesn't I don't talk like that. That doesn't sound right. It's absolutely wild.
It's exaggerated too. Like it's probably exaggerated for effect. And I mean, I'm sure that listening to Americans, you're just like, what the hell are they talking about?
No, to be fair, I don't even register it anymore.
It's just the wording, right? Like certain things, like certain, like, what do you call this? And what do you call that? And like, I know you and your trainers, like, they're not always going to be trainers. I'm never going to call them sneakers.
Yeah. Things like that. It's just never going to be sneakers. Yeah. That's a weird word. Yeah. I don't know where the hell you found that one from.
I don't know.
a lot of Americanisms are becoming very, very common over here.
Mm.
So like truck instead of lorry is very common.
Mm-hmm.
We still say, in my house, we still say rubbish. We don't say garbage, but we still say rubbish. But see, I can't think of any now. You put sneakers in my head, and I'm like, fucking trainers.
It sounds so much nicer, like when you guys use certain words than we do. It's like, I'd love to just say rubbish or bin, like instead of like the trash. Like put it in the trash. Like you guys say, put it in the bin, right? So yeah. Like different things like that. And you'd mentioned, and I'd asked in our DMs, SODs Law, and I know Dee wrote like a whole bunch of stuff down. Is that, or is that not like Murphy's Law here, where it's like, if something bad's going to happen, it probably will. Like to me, that's Murphy's Law. Like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's like SODs Law is like, if you've planned to do something and everything up to the point of the plan has gone right, it will go wrong after that point. So like in my example, I had planned to buy boxes. I had then gone and purchased boxes. They had been delivered in a timely manner. Everything was going right.
Mm-hmm.
So SODs Law, something was then going to come up to prevent me from wearing them.
Gotcha.
Now that I had purchased them. So it is very similar to Murphy's Law.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know where SODs Law came from. I know Dee gave you a whole rundown on all the various uses of sod, because we like to reuse words. Yeah. And we like to make them mean different things over here. But yeah, it's very similar to Murphy's Law.
Mm-hmm.
Which interestingly, I had to put that in your fic, because I was typing out SODs Law, and then I was like, nobody's gonna fucking know what that is. What is the equivalent of this? Damn. And then I had to like Google Murphy's Law, because I was pretty sure I knew what it was, but I was like, I want to double check this is an appropriate usage of this term.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, honestly, Americanisms don't stick out in British culture as much as I would imagine our isms stick out in your culture if you like watching British media.
Yeah. I just loved watching the British baking, the great British baking show. That was like one thing I just loved watching, because everybody was like, even though they're like, very cutthroat and stuff, they do it so nicely.
Yeah.
And it just, I loved it. It was just a nice, pleasant, like, and even the judges, like that little old lady, was it Mary something? Like she
Mary
was like,
Berry.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, I'm like, she was like balancing the other dude with all the silver hair, stuff like that. But I was just like,
yeah,
this is nice. I like this kind of competition.
Yeah, they I don't know how much of that went over the pond, but they switched TV channels. A different TV channel. It was dropped by the BBC, and a different TV channel picked it up. And Mary left. She didn't want to judge anymore when it moved channels. And the presenters, Mel and Sue, they left as well. They didn't stay with the show when it moved. So it's got new presenters and a new judge. And it's kind of pants now.
Yeah.
But we watch it every year.
That was like he was from a show that I remember a friend watched. He was one of like the judges, the more recent judges. And I feel like the other lady's name was like, the other judge was like Sandy. I feel like.
Yeah, we had, so the judge was, Mary was replaced by a lady called Prue Leaf, who was also some kind of bakery person. And then they did a couple of seasons. It was Noel Fielding. You know, the weird goth one.
Yes,
I love Noel. He makes me laugh so much.
That's who it was. Yeah. And I think there was like a little chick with him, like Sandy. Was it Sandy? I feel like
it was Sandy, just a little lady. But then she left as well, and now it's. Do you know Matt Lucas, the comedian? He's
yes, he's
the bald guy.
Yeah, and he kind of like he does like Tweedledee and Tweedledum or something like that. Like they did something like that. Yeah,
that one. He's the other like presenter of the show with Noel now. So that like they're funny.
Oh, okay,
it's funny, but the actual content of the show is kind of pants now.
Okay.
But we still watch it every year because it's like a British tradition now. Like, what are you doing with your life if you're not watching the Bake Off? So now we have to it's on the TV and nobody's watching it, and we're like, oh yeah, that's shit. Oh, that's gonna fall over, isn't it? Oh, you balls that up, did you, love? But we're not watching it. There's no investment in it at all. Gets to the final three, and I'm like, I don't even care who wins. It seems to be crap. But what are you doing if you're not watching Bake Off on a Tuesday?
Oh, man.
You have nothing else to do with your life.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. I haven't seen the one with Matt in it. So I'll have to see if that's on Netflix or not, if that season's on. I'll have to check that.
Yeah. We're currently running the British version of The Apprentice. That's currently on at the moment. I don't know if your version came first or our version came first. Don't worry, Donald Trump's not on it.
No, I would assume not, but yeah.
No. I didn't even know that was his thing before he started doing crazy political things. And I was like, oh, he does The Apprentice, does he? Oh, dickhead.
Yeah, that was pretty much like in the early 2000s. I think that was a big thing for quite a few years. And then they started doing like Celebrity Apprentice and all that. I never watched it. My godmother used to watch it a lot, but I never watched it. Is it good over there?
It's one of those shows that you love to hate. Like, it's full of really stuck up people who think they're God's gift to business.
Okay.
And they're really terrible at it. And it's, it's got like the British quirks of making them make like fools of themselves and stuff. And, that kind of thing. And it's, I don't know. I got really into it. And then ours is run by Alan Sugar, the business guy. I don't know if you know him. He's a very wrinkly human being.
I don't know. Maybe if I saw a picture, I would know. So yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, Lord Alan Sugar. And I was like, I was firmly in Team Alan until our last general election, when he was like, yeah, no, I'm voting Tory. And I was like, oh, fuck you, Alan. Fuck you right off, mate. Absolutely not. And he'd been like a Labour voter all his life. Even though he's like, obviously he's got a lot of money, he still voted Labour. And then he just decided to fucking jump shit with the Tories. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then he freaking retweeted something about, I was at the start of the pandemic, something about COVID affecting the testicles. And he retweeted it blindly and then had to retract it and was like, I didn't even check it. So I should have fact checked it. And I was like, oh, you dick. So now I spend like the whole episode being annoyed with the contestants and then annoyed with him at the end. So it's good. It's good telly. It's a good hour's worth of irritation.
Which is getting it all out on somebody.
So, yeah. I do. I tend to like just be doing something on my computer and I'm just looking around going, that's fucking stupid.
Apprentice,
and then I go back to what I'm doing. Just like, what are they doing now? Oh, that's dumb. Oh, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Just go back to it. I'm sure it drives me half insane. But I do it anyway.
Oh,
Is it still running it? over in America? Or
Not that I know of. I mean, I think it stopped running with Trump, actually. I mean, I didn't watch it enough, but I feel like they had a good, like, maybe like up to like 2010, I would make a guess. So I think it was on a good, like, maybe 7 or 8 years. You know, the way seasons are now anyway, they're kind of weird. Like, we have Dancing with the Stars, where even though it's been on for maybe, I don't know, 10 years, it feels like they've had like 30 seasons, because they just like, they pack a lot of like mini seasons into like a whole year or whatever. So
yeah,
I think that's how they did it too with most reality shows, I think, are that way. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of those. Like I said, the cooking stuff I love for some reason. I love baking. I love watching that. Like,
I like cooking shows.
I love just watching it and going, oh, that would be great. That'd be a great thing to do. But then never actually doing, like, that big of a deal. Who do I watch that I like, that I've been watching recently? I remember watching it when it was like Jamie Oliver, like when he first started on our Food Network. I remember, and this was like, he was like the naked chef when he was just like a wee little guy.
When he was a baby. Yeah.
And now, like, I'll catch some stuff on one of our streaming services, and I'll watch it with Mom, because it's, it's simple. And she's like, oh, I'm like, oh, look, Mom, 5 ingredients. You could do that.
Yeah. Me and my mom, she liked watching cookie shows, and we had a couple of shows that were like, I don't know if it went over the pond, but we had a show back in sort of like maybe like the 80s or the 90s, and it was called Two Fat Ladies.
Yes, I remember that one.
Jennifer and Clarissa, and they used to go and cook, frankly, very weird food for various establishments and things. Yeah, and me and my mum, we loved watching that. Really, really loved watching that. She liked the chef Rick Stein, the seafood chef.
Okay, I don't know him.
I don't know. I hated him because I don't like seafood.
Okay.
So he'd be like, oh, I'm cooking with like clams and snot. And I'd be like, that's disgusting. And she'd be like, shut up, you love it. And I'm like, I fucking hate it. I hate him and his stupid dog. And I really just hate everything about this show. So she used to make a point to find episodes of Rick. And if I wasn't in, she'd record them. And then I'd come back and she'd be like, I've got Rick for us to watch. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, man. I hate this show so much. Just get on my nerves.
Oh my gosh. My mom loves Lydia Bastianich, because she cooks Italian. So she loves watching her. And I remember like just PBS, which was like, our public broadcasting station. So it would always be like Julia Child when I was little, and different things like that we would watch. And so yeah, a lot of those shows, that's easy stuff to watch with somebody, right? Like, especially a parent, and it's just like food, because it's comforting, and you could say, oh, doesn't that look good? And yeah, well, how could we do that with just like what we got in the house, and like that kind of stuff. So my mom's great with just putting stuff together, food, like cooking. Baking, she can do some really decent Italian things, specifically like biscotti and different things like that. But anything else, she's horrible making a pie. She can't do it. She's never been able to like do a pie correctly. So I was the one that did the baking growing up, like, because I could read the directions. I'm like, Mom, baking is specific.
Yeah, you can't just a bit of this, a bit of that baking. It's specific. Yeah. My other half gets a baking box every month. He has a baking subscription, and it's actually biscotti this month.
Okay.
Carrot cake biscotti.
Oh,
which is, I don't think carrot cake should be a thing that exists. Why are you putting vegetables in dessert?
There'll probably be cinnamon in that.
He's made cinnamon buns before, and I was like, I can't believe this. And I tried them, and apart from the fact that they tasted awful, because cinnamon, they were really nice. He's a good baker. Like everything he bakes is like really light and airy. And
does he do cream puffs and things like that? Has he done those?
I don't think so.
Oh, he should try it. If he can make stuff light and airy, he could probably make a mean cream puff. You should probably get him to try and do that.
Yeah,
one.
He made a lemon and almond tart.
Okay.
I think last month. It was just so good.
Lemon is underrated in desserts, I feel. And I know they use it a lot in Italian baking. And my mom really likes lemon, but it's hard to like make that a thing, I think, over here, because we're only like cream and chocolate and but Yeah, I enjoy lemon.
Yeah, but like citrus.
Yeah.
Citrus desserts are where it's at.
I agree.
Well in for citrus.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The first cheesecake he ever made was a lemon cheesecake for me. He was like, I'm going to make a cheesecake. What kind of cheesecake do you want? And I was like, lemon. Is this even a question? Lemon. That's the best kind of. Is there any other kind of cheesecake? No, lemon.
Oh, goodness. That's great.
So,
yeah. So he's a good baker.
He is a good baker. Like I can follow a recipe. I can do like cakes and cookies and stuff, but he really enjoys it. He really likes doing it. He gets like really into it, and he has like a setup, the way he takes his pictures, and then he's on like the baking box group on Facebook, and like he posts that, and he's got a binder of all his recipes and things. Like he bought the cookbook that comes with the baking subscription for like old recipes and stuff. He's well into it. Nice. Really, really good.
Nice.
He's good people. So that's nice, because then we'll go to do, because we do our shopping online. And I'll go and I'll be like, baby, why are there eggs on here? And he's like, I'm going to make such and such. And I'm like, fucking sweet. Heck yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about idling in the Impala, you can reach us on Twitter at idlingin_Impala, or send us an email at idlinginttheimpala@gmail.com. Or if you want to find me on AO3, my username is Drasna, Drasna. On Twitter, it's Kyle, Kyle, Writes, Writes. Or you can find me on my website, sandrakyle.com, where you can find some of my original fiction.
Yep, so that's what you can find Sandra and the podcast. And in absolute contrast to how everything else in our lives, where Sandra is totally organized and I am a chaotic demon, we're completely opposite here. You can find me AO3. I'm Karlee Karma. I make the same reference every episode, guys. However you think that's spelled, it definitely isn't. So that's Kilo Alpha Romeo Lima Echo Echo, and then Karma as you would spell it normally. I'm the same on Twitter, Karlee Karma. I've got the same profile picture in both places as well, in case you think, hey, I wonder if I found someone with the same weird name twice. Probably haven't. It's probably me. So reach out, contact us about the podcast, contact us personally, come give us a look on AO3, tell us if you hate what we do, if you love it. Just reach out, get in touch, let us know what your thoughts are. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, and we hope to talk to you again soon. Bye.
Yep. Bye, guys.
If 3 different types of pie can't tear him away from the television, nothing will. God, I hope the movie's done by now.
All I know is I am deserving of some hair care tonight.
By hair care, you mean running your fingers all through Sam's.
Absolutely.
Well, baby's back safe and sound, and we've got some boys to see.
Thanks for coming along for the ride. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll give you the keys to take her for a spin.
Where's the pie?
Look at these chemicals. You even read the label?
No, I read pie. The rest is just blah, blah, blah.